Hi guys, so I wanted to just show a video of how I make my Scrappy quilt, my crumb quilt. So I cut a piece of muslin fabric to whatever size it is. I believe it's about 10 by 10, because that's just the size I chose. It's easy to work with. So then I just lay two pieces on there. I iron them a little bit. And then I know they're different sizes. Doesn't even matter. I'll take it and I'll lay it down and I'll just lay this one over there. And I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and just stitch a line down there. And I'll be right back. Alright, so I am back. Just snip off my threads there. Flip it over and snip those. Like them everywhere. I realized that one was really long. And then same thing again. I'll just press it, then fold it open. I know that one's really small, but I like having little patches of random ones. So then I'll take it back to the sewing machine and I will sew my decorative stitch just to here. So it doesn't, I'll cut this after I've sewn the decorative stitch because I'm not going to need that. I'm going to sew something else right there so I can just get rid of it then. So I'm going to do the decorative stitch and then I'll be back to show you how to just keep adding. Okay, so I'm back. I brought some scraps with me out of my pile. I just choose little ones when I'm starting out. You don't really need bigger ones until you get to the outer edge because then to keep the line straight, you have to use bigger strips or whatever pieces. So I just iron it there to set the stitches. I don't really know if it helps. It's just what I do. And then I'll trim that off a little bit there. And then this will go back in my pile to use later. So then I don't really match up colors. Like I just grab whatever. Now the only thing I did do is I used the same thread on the top throughout it because that's what I had. I mean, you really don't have to. You could just use whatever. I thought it looked better with all one thread, but you know, if that's all I had, I would just use whatever. So then I just iron that. Again, I don't pre-iron my scraps. I just do it whenever I'm doing this because I don't have time to pre-iron them. I have more important things to do, to tell you the truth. So then I'm going to take it and sew that line down, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've stitched that one down, and again, I am going to just iron it a little. I will trim this little piece off. I did stitch over a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm just going to trim what I can off. That won't bother anybody. And then I'll flip it open and iron it there. And then I'll go do the decorative stitch just from there to there. And then we'll be back to add more on, and that's just how I do it. I keep doing it all the way around, adding the decorative stitch each time I sew a new piece on, because then it doesn't get so monotonous leaving it for the end, because I did that on one square and I left it to the end to sew all of the decorative, and then it kind of overlapped a little onto, like this would have overlapped onto here a little bit, and I didn't really like that. So I started doing it this way. And then like the seam allowance, it doesn't really matter because your pieces are all different sizes anyway, so it doesn't really have to line up. So I'm gonna go sew this and then I'll be back. Alright, so I gotta trim my little threads, and I don't do any back stitching or anything on this because it's just gonna come right off or be sewn right over anyway. I'm so sorry, I don't make videos a lot, but I just thought it'd be easier this way to let y'all know. So then sometimes I'll cut this off right away, sometimes I'll wait till I stitch over it there, but then this is a pretty good piece. It could still be used to start it. See, this is just a tiny little thing, but it'll be on there. So I just keep going around. I don't really go around all that way. Like I sewed this, but I could go ahead and just sew this right here too. And then it would just make this piece longer, which sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. But then you'll end up, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, when you're done, then it'll overlap around the thing. So you'll just flip it over, and I line up my ruler like this, just right on the edge there. And then I'll just, obviously not on my ironing mat, but I'll take it out of there. And I would line it up like this, and then just with the rotary cutter, I would just slice it right off. And then just turn it and do it all the way around. And then I'm going to put this back because it looks better for the background. Then you would just end up with a little square like this. And then here's another one. And see how they're all different sizes. This one has the tiny little pieces in there in the middle. This one I actually started with some bigger ones. And then when I get two together, like two ready to put together, I do tend to, at this point, I will look here and see which side would go best lined up. It's the only time I look at the colors, really, or the pattern, because I don't really want it to be like, well, these wouldn't do it, but like if this one would begin and end at the same spot as that one, I wouldn't really want that. I like it to look a little more random, even though I'm planning it. So then I would go and I would sew these with this one. I would do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I would press it open, and then I would take it, I would press the seam open on the back, and then I would take it and I would just go ahead and do the decorative stitch straight down. And then, this is one I already did. Then you would see how I connected them there and here. I'm saying a lot. I apologize for that. Also, some of these have, like this is flannel. This one's flannel. So, and this one's, I like the feel of the different fabrics. These are all kinds of fabrics. I don't really quilt a lot. I make my kids' pajama pants, and I make, there's that again, I am so sorry. I make ties for some managers at McDonald's, and I've made scrunchies, and just, so it's just fabrics I have left over from that. And I think I like this because there is no structure, and I can't really mess it up. So that's what I chose to do first, and I thought if I don't like it, oh well, because I didn't mess it up because there was no real pattern. And I like that there's no pattern because I can just do whatever I want. I do have, like I said, at the end I do square these up. Now, when you're sewing this, it does bunch that up a little bit. See how it makes it a little bit smaller. So you start with 10 inches, but you end up with, oh no, I think I started with 10.5 because this is about 10 1/4. So it takes about a 1/4 inch off of each way, not each side, but you know, whatever I'm trying to say. See, the back isn't very pretty, but you can see where I added the things, and I have to trim up some threads. But anyways, that's how I did it. I hope this helps anybody who's wanting to try. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will try to answer them the best I can. I am not a professional. This is just what I decided to do with all my scraps because they were taking over my house. And I didn't want to throw them away because I spent good money on those fabrics. So thank you for watching and enjoy.